This is Josiah Plays Tyranny, second playthrough. Alright, welcome back. I am here to play Tyranny again. Starting from the beginning, gonna play a different kind of character, gonna roleplay my character differently, make different decisions. This time I'm gonna not side with anybody. Instead of siding with the rebels, I'm gonna side with no one. I'm going to play on Path of the Damned this time, instead of hard, instead of normal, so it should be a lot more challenging. I'm going to play on Path of the Damned, and I'm going to play a character who is more of a might makes right, conquering barbarian who wants to rule the world and become like the mighty warrior king, and doesn't care about any kind of allies or helping anybody, or just wants to rule. Just wants to rule and conquer and crush everything. And drive his enemies before him and hear the lamentation of their women and all that. So, let me click new game here and let's do this. Alright, it's time for Path of the Damned. Enemies receive a bonus to most stats, have the most efficient AI, will very frequently use abilities. Party members take more wounds during combat and when being knocked out. This difficulty level can only be chosen when starting a new game. And I've chosen it. I'm not doing Trial of Iron or Expert mode though, fuck that. Alright, here we go. New game. New game time. Are you ready for a new playthrough of Tyranny? 'Cause I'm ready. I'm ready.
For over 400 years, the armies of Kairos the Overlord have swept across the known world. All who stood against them fell before their might. Even the Archons, women and men of immense power, were forced to kneel, chained to the Overlord's will. Now Kairos' final conquest has come to our corner of the world, and two of the Overlord's armies compete for the honor of taking our lands. The elite disfavored, and the teeming horde of the Scarlet Chorus. The voices of Nerat, spy master and Archon of secrets, guides the fierce and undisciplined masses of the Scarlet Chorus.
Green Flame!
In each battle, the Scarlet Chorus grows stronger, as the defeated are given a simple choice: serve or die. Graven Ash, Archon of War and the Overlord's most loyal general, leads the disfavored. Though small in number, Kairos' ironclad legion has never met true defeat in open battle. Watching over the two generals is Tunon, the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, eldest of Kairos' minions. Tunon brings Kairos' laws to newly conquered lands, aided by the Fatebinders, judges and executioners of the Overlord's laws. You were among the youngest of the court of Fatebinders when Kairos' armies came to our lands. How could we have known that the fate of thousands would rest in your hands?
Got to Ebb talking during the initial narration. And here we are at character creation. Yay! Alright, well I have to decide whether I want to play a male or a female this time. I'm leaning toward male, because I played a female last time, and... although, you know, I really don't know which one I want to play, honestly, until I look at the portraits. I need to look at the portraits and find the right portrait for the character type I'm going for, and if that portrait is male, then I'll play the male. If that portrait is female, then I'll play the female. Fuck, I'm also going to have to come up with a new voice for this character that doesn't sound too much like all the other voices I do. Alright, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So for now I'm just going to make a male, and I'm not even going to fuck around with any of this because I'm gonna base this on the portrait. So I'm gonna come back to this step after having chosen a portrait in whatever section you choose a portrait. So here we go. Now, I might have to wait for a really long time here because of a stupid bug in this game. Oh, the waiting a really long time thing is done. They fixed it. Sweet. Okay, let's look at all the portraits. All of them. No. That guy's having too much fun fondling his stick there. Alright, this one's possible. I don't like it that much, but it's possible for the character concept. This one's possible for the character concept, even though he clearly has a shield, and I'm not going to have a shield. He has a very appropriate-looking kind of helmet. Uh-oh. Now it's starting to slow down. A voice like Rosati? I don't think that'll fit for this kind of character. No, not that guy. He looks like a rogue. Not this guy. He looks like a mage. It's starting to slow down now. Unfortunately. That guy's a mage. This guy's a psychopath. I might use this portrait when I do my Scarlet Chorus Chaotic Evil Pure Psychopath playthrough. Because that dude is Hannibal fucking Lecter. Alright, Tom Selleck. Next we got Tom Selleck. Got fucking Magnum PI up in here. But he's a mage. This guy's not bad. This guy could fit the bill. So could this guy, but I don't really like him. Voice like Arnold Schwarzenegger, huh? Oh man, can I pull that off? I kind of like this guy, actually. He looks a little older than I was thinking, but I kind of like him. Ah! I don't know if I can do that kind of voice. Get to the chopper! To crush your enemies. To see them driven before you. And hear the lamentation of their women. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't sound like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I just don't know how. Obviously not that guy. He's too scholarly. This guy's pretty cool, except for the fact that he's clearly using a bow. This guy's too scholarly. This guy... no. He's too... fucking edgelord. Okay, I like this dude. He seems legit. He seems legit. Alright, she's cool. I wanted to dual wield. Got a dual wieldy sort of thing going on. Too scholarly. Nope. That's a rogue. Oh, she's got rings, though. That's pretty cool. That's an archer. I'm totally profiling these people. These are like mages. She's nice. She's badass looking. Again, though, she looks like a tank. A shield user. Heavy armor shield user more so than... I might go for like a deep, well, as deep as I can do. I can't do a very deep voice because my voice is naturally not that deep. But a deep-ish pseudo-Russian or something. I don't know, but it'll sound so bad. It'll sound so stupid. That's not what Russian people sound like. Yes. I like to drink vodka. I like to crush my enemies. See them driven before me. Hear the lamentation of their women. No, that doesn't... no. I don't know what's in her mouth, but it annoys me. She's pretty tough looking. I like the fist and sword combo going on. Alright, she looks like a straight up warrior. I like her a lot. But probably not for this playthrough. There's Seraphina again. She's cool too, but again, she's got a bow. Crush heads like sparrow's egg between thighs. Battle cruiser operational. No, that sounds dumb. That sounds too silly. Because I have to read a lot of lines in this voice. So, I can't, I can't pick something that's too outlandish, where I'm not going to be able to pull it off for reading fucking hundreds of lines. No, it's not going to be Fire Snake the guy's voice. I like this one. What am I going with? What am I going with? I find myself strangely drawn back to this guy. And you know what's funny about this? This is the portrait that was selected when I first came to this screen. And now that I'm looking at this guy, what kind of voice does he have? He's gonna have kind of a desert wanderer kind of a voice. Not that I can do a desert wanderer kind of a voice, but it's hard to just spout off a voice without having an actual line to... Or, you know what I could do is listen to these voices, pick one, and try to make my voice sound like this voice. But that's usually not going to go well.
That wasn't so hard.
I remember this from the last time. The voices are super fucking quiet when you play them in here for some reason. Can I? I can't do anything about the music volume right now.
Moving cautiously. I'm injured.
Oh yeah.
Heads up, we have company.
It's definitely this guy.
Flawless.
Flawless!
You learn something every day.
You learn something every day.
I'll just hold on to this.
I'll just hold on to this. So that's a pretty standard voice for me. I use that kind of a voice for a lot of NPCs, though.
That wasn't so hard.
That wasn't so hard.
Moving cautiously.
Moving cautiously.
I'm injured.
I'm injured.
Have a look here.
Have a look here.
To battle.
To battle! Alright, we're gonna go with something like this. To crush your enemies, drive them before you, and hear the lamentations of their women. Yeah, that sounds like really sounds like a villain, though. It doesn't sound like this guy at all, does it? This guy looks too nice, is the problem. He looks very placid and friendly. That guy doesn't look that nice, but... This guy, again, looks way too nice. Look at that, how smiley he is. Why is he so smiley? Now, that guy's not smiley. Something about this guy just seems silly to me. I might have to go with this dude. I'm thinking this dude might be my dude. So, if I'm going with this dude...
Flawless. You learn something every day. This will be fun. That wasn't so hard.
That wasn't so hard.
Moving cautiously.
Moving cautiously.
My wounds are slowing me down. I need a rest. Right.
Alright, so I think I'm going to go with this guy and this voice. So let's go back a step. So we're sticking with male. In the Northern Empire, where you were born, men enjoy equal protections under the laws of the Overlord Kairos. In the southern lands of the Tiers, only men may own or captain ships, but real estate is restricted to women. Men may lease, but durable ownership of the land in the Tiers always passes to eldest daughters or sister. Most sons enter their father's profession by their mid-teens. Those without a profession or family lands to work can find purpose by pledging service to one of the Overlord's mighty Archons. Criminals, derelicts, and others are often conscripted into the armies of the Archons. If a child cannot forge his own skein, he will certainly find one in battle. Okay. So now I have to choose between mesomorph, endomorph, or ectomorph. Well, for this character, it's not going to be an ectomorph, obviously. I think we're just going to go with the standard mesomorph here. That dude is someone ready for a bunch of scouts shooting at him according to a me DM's will. What? Oh, I see. You're trying to make reference to that time that your character got owned in D&D. Due to your own actions. Alright, what kind of skin tone does this dude have? Pretty standard Caucasian kind of, not real dark, but not real pale either. So obviously not this skin tone. Uh-oh. Just tried to change skin tone and the game's losing its shit. Not that one. Come on, game. You can do it. I believe in you. Probably this one. Yeah, I think it's got to be this one. Alright, so we'll pick our portrait. Uh-oh, Tyranny's not responding. Hold on, wait for the program to respond.
See that? To battle! Flawless!
To battle! Flawless! Alright. So... let's look at faces. We got this guy looking at us. That's a pretty intense face. This guy looks a little too patrician. No. Maybe that guy on the end. Or this guy with the fucking crazy cheekbones. I think we gotta go with cheekbones guy. How about hair? Well, we have no idea what kind of hair he's got underneath that helmet, so we can basically pick any hair we want. He's not going to be bald. Is that his hair right there, or is that like... what is that right there on the portrait? That's not his hair, right? Like, sticking out from under the helmet? That's like fur on a mantle, or something else, right? Oh, look at that mohawk, though. That mohawk is legit. Looks like part of his pauldron. Okay. No. Definitely no. 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 It's either got to be this hair, which is about the Conanist that we're going to get. I like the mohawk. We're going mohawk. And we're going to go for a kind of... I think I'm gonna go for the red. My other character had red hair too, but I like this kind of red hair. Red mohawk. Do I still feel good about this face? I think I'm still gonna go with no facial hair. Although some of these facial hairs look pretty cool. Some of them do not. Do I still like this face now that I've selected? I might like that one a little bit more. This one looks a little too dumb. This guy looks a little smarter. Alright, we're going with this. It'd be amazing if some of the interactions changed based on what hair you picked. That's a little more reactivity than I think they're gonna put into the game. Now we can get tattoos. We had a leg... Should I just go for the leg snake again on every character? Every character has to have the leg snake. Oh, he gets 2 leg snakes. I guess because he's a man. Men get 2 leg snakes and women only get 1. I think every character has to just have the leg snakes. The black and red leg snakes. Gotta do it. Alright. History, origin. Today you are a Fatebinder, agent of the Archon of Justice. You are by no means free, but as a warrior scholar deputized with discretionary powers to interpret and execute the laws of the Overlord Kairos, you are freer than most. One does not apply to be a Fatebinder. One is called by Tunon the Archon of Justice, and to decline is death. Millions of men and women live in the dozens of realms ruled by the Overlord. How did you stand out from amongst this teeming mass of desperation and insignificance and gain the Archon's notice? I've got leg snakes. And a mohawk. How the fuck do you think I stood out? Alright, well, pretty obvious. I went with Diplomat last time, for Seraphina, obviously. Pretty obvious I'm not going to be a guild apprentice or a war mage. I could be a soldier, a lawbreaker, or a pit finder. I don't think I'm going to be a hunter. Or a diplomat or a noble scion. Although hunter could be possible. Lawbreaker. No, this guy's more of a pit fighter. I think it's pretty much gotta be a pit fighter. Not wishing to pay to feed and house too. The madam that purchased your mother. The madam that purchased your mother. Nice. So your mom was a slave. Sold you to the proving ground. So your mom was a slave and then you got sold as a kid to someone else. Very dark sun. The Northern Empire's bloodiest, most notorious fighting arena. Given only enough training to assure the show isn't over too soon, your natural prowess and survival instinct led you to one victory after another. There was no elegant swordplay, no formalized duels, just brutal melee and the stench of blood, shit, and bronze with each day's gruesome necessities. My background has the word shit in it. Game of the year. It is said that any fighter that slays a dozen others in the Grand Melee is given her freedom, but in 300 years, only 3 warriors have ever walked away from the proving grounds. When the closing horn sounded and 13 corpses lay about your feet, I must have just been playing on easy difficulty when that happened. You became the 4th to be granted freedom to thunderous applause, but this autonomy was short-lived. Within days, word of your accomplishment made its way to the Archon of Justice. This doesn't even make sense, though. I mean, why would Tunon pick you as an Archon, as a Fatebinder, as a judge, as an agent of the law, just because you whooped some ass in the gladiatorial pits? How would that qualify you to be a good judge? He just saw something in you. Alright, we're going Pit Fighter. Now I choose my 2 expertises. Pretty obvious I'm going to go with the 2-hander one. So first is going to be Greatsword. Oh, and now we got our armor. Wielding a 2-handed weapon puts your focus on power rather than speed. This is a slow attack style, but the damage you deal will often overcome the armor of your enemies. I get some bonus to 2-hander, parry, and athletics. I choose one of these 2 abilities, Sunder or Cleave. I'll take Sunder. Powerful overhead attack that reduces the target's armor. And then I hit next, and now I choose another expertise. For Seraphina, I chose Vigor and Atrophy spells originally, which is ironic because very shortly into the game, she literally never used a Vigor or Atrophy spell ever again. But that was what she started with. I'm gonna go with War Mace, which will give me even more two-hander stuff. Now I've got a total of 8 to two-handed, 7 to athletics, 5 to parry, and I also get Cleave. So I start with Cleave and Sunder. So I get 2 talents for free. Whereas Seraphina just got 2 spells in the beginning, and spells are not talents. So this character is literally starting 2 talent points ahead of my last character. Which is cool. Next, oh, banner time. This one might take a while. I remember this being a long load. I love how it's still going to take 2 hours for character creation and conquest, even though it's second playthrough. Takes a while on this load. Don't know why. Just does. Only for me, apparently. Because, well, not only for me. I already looked this up. On the forums, people were complaining about this. But a lot of people, it doesn't affect this way. All the people that I watched stream this and stuff before the game came out didn't have this problem. They just clicked straight through character creation like no problem. But for me, it takes a while, quite a while, to load this next part of character creation. Quite a while. A what? A while. H-W-I-L-E. While. Seriously, this is getting ridiculous. Let's play. How long is the loading screen? Oh, God. I'm guessing 15 more seconds, optimistically. Very optimistically. That I guess is 16 more seconds. Well, we're already 20 seconds past the point when I said 15 more seconds. Now we're 25 seconds past. Why is this taking so long? Now we're 30 seconds past. Anytime now, game. Anytime now. Like, it's just ridiculous. Now I get spinny windows thing, which is always fun. Always good times with spinny windows thing. This is like loading your game in the beginning of the game length of time. Okay, finally. Finally. Alright, I gotta choose my colors and my banner colors. I think I'm gonna go for another snake banner. I gotta have the snake banner, I think. I mean, there's a lot of cool banner designs. But how do I not have my snake, you know? How lame would it be if you just picked this favorite or Scarlet Chorus as your personal sigil? Or fucking Tunon, or fucking Kairos. Kairos' symbol as your personal banner? Doesn't even make sense. Time to drop the banner! Alright, the snake itself has got to be red. Now, red and black might be a little on the nose with the evilness. I went red and white with Seraphina, but I don't think I'm going red and white this time. Maybe we'll do something a little more intermediate, like, well, you can't even see the snake. Red and gray. Or, like... No, this kind of looks a little... The Done banner. Oh, I kind of like that. I don't like that. Alright, we're going with this. So I should make those my personal colors. Maybe I'll just make red my personal color. Blue and red? No. I don't want to look like Captain fucking America. We're going with red. We're just going with red. Keeping it simple. Oh shit. Gotta come up with a name. Oh my god, here we go. Have to come up with a name now. Okay, let's see. Let's think about my character concept. What kind of a name do I want to go with that? Periwinkle to Willigers. Gee Butter Snaps. Probably just go with an old standby. Just gonna go with Sinden. It's a name I've used before. Or Valgard. I think Valgard fits this character more. I'm going with that. The Norse name. Okay. I already know what I'm doing here. No resolve, no wits, no vitality, no quickness. Anybody got time for those stats? All finesse and might. All finesse and might. And every single point that I get from now on through the whole game will go into finesse. The god stat for melee characters. But I've got lots of might for extra damage. Okay, so it's time to play RP Justify the Stats. So, obviously my character is a physical, athletic badass. Incredibly strong and nimble and agile. A natural athlete and warrior. However, due to an injury during his time in the gladiatorial pits that never healed quite properly, He's got a little bit of a limp, and he can't get around as quickly as he used to. So he doesn't move as swiftly. But he still moves with great finesse. Again, his body sustained a great deal of punishment during all of those brutal years in the gladiatorial pits. And he's been battered and has never really recovered from some of the internal injuries and so forth. So he's kind of sick. I mean, he's still really strong and everything, but he's not very healthy. You know, he coughs up blood regularly, just because that's very dramatic. Unfortunately, a lot of blows to the head. There have been a lot of blows to the head as a pit fighter, and his wits suffered for it. And his resolve, well, I don't know why he doesn't have good resolve. Why doesn't he have good resolve? Ability to endure mental and physical challenges. That seems like something he would have, but in this case he doesn't, because I told you, Saito, this isn't old Conan. He becomes less clever later. This isn't roguish Conan. This is Conqueror Conan. Actually, let me tell you what this really is. This isn't Conan at all. This is what they did to Conan. This isn't the Conan of Robert E. Howard's stories. This is the archetype that they made out of Conan that completely sacrificed and abandoned everything that made Conan what he was. Where they took the superficial aspects of Conan, i.e. his great strength and his you know, his warrior nature and being a barbarian. They took that and they removed all of his mental and emotional qualities that made him interesting. And they created an archetype out of it, of the dumb barbarian warrior. He's that guy. He's not the original actual Robert E. Howard Conan, who's much more of a rogue and much more of a clever, swashbuckling kind of adventurer dude. Yeah, so this is more like Arnold Schwarzenegger Conan than real Conan. I don't know why he didn't have good resolve. He's seen too much shit. And frankly, it's shaken him to his core. He has nightmares. He wakes up in cold sweats. He wants to conquer and rule the world. But he is not very disciplined. He has relied heavily on his natural abilities that he was born with. His natural sort of genetic predisposition to being big and strong and agile. And he's leaned heavily on that and his experience in the pits, as opposed to like hard training or hard work or discipline. You know, he's never stuck to a regimen or been very resolved in that respect. He doesn't have a lot of willpower to resist temptations and stuff. Okay, boom. Character is designed and described and explained and justified. Okay, obviously we're going to max out two-handed weapons. We're going to max out parry. I guess we're not going to max out parry. It's only going to be 45. 45? 45 is terrible! I don't want 45, I want 50, damn it. But I can't have 50. Ironically, if I'd raised my resolve, he'd have more of this, but not much more. His athletics is fucking solid, though. Coming out the gate at 43 is nice. Obviously, he ain't got shit for dodge, lore, subterfuge, or any of the other skills, but that's okay. We've already done all the lore and subterfuge shit with Seraphina. This time, we're doing all the athletics shit. I'll have to take one of my party members and make him my subterfuge person. Because obviously, Lantry's going to be my lore guy. Somebody's going to have to be my subterfuge person for detecting traps and stuff. And I can't wait all the way until I get kills in shadow, so I guess I'm going to have to make as bizarre as this sounds, I guess I'm gonna have to make Barrack my subterfuge guy. Mace, you can parry it all, given he's using a two-handed weapon. Is he going to kill that baby? I don't know if I'll even get that choice on this playthrough. You know, things might go completely differently. But, yes, probably. If he gets the baby-killing choice, he'll kill the baby. He won't make anybody else do it either. He'll do it himself. Well, maybe if I've got kills in Shadow, maybe I'll make her do it. Because, I mean, what is that to her? That's like a fucking chicken McNugget. Kills in Shadow! To her, a baby is like a chicken McNugget. She can just fucking have a snack. I mean, she can take that little fucker down in one swallow. Alright. I wanted my parry to be maxed out from the beginning, but that's not going to be possible. So I'm just going to let it sit at 45 and call it a day. Alright. Gee, do you think I'll do quick start? Anybody think I'll do quick start? Should I do quick start? Actually, I'm going to click it right now for science. Just to see... I know you can go back after you click this. I already know you can go back, otherwise I wouldn't be doing it. Just to see, if you do quick start, this is your options. You've got Scarlet Chorus Path, and it tells you everything that you picked, and what ability you get. But basically, you sided with Scarlet Chorus all the way. Or if you do disfavored, this is what you get, and if you do neutral, this is what you get. But obviously I'm not doing quick start, that's madness. Baby back ribs. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. So obviously we're doing the Conquest, because the Conquest is sweet. This is... Oh my god, I forgot to even mention the Conquest when I was talking about the game and giving my little mini review at the end of the playthrough. The Conquest is one of the cool... It's my favorite thing about this game, just like the magic system and just like the setting. Oh, the Conquest is awesome. And you've got to play through the game like 10 times just to choose each Conquest thing once. That's not even counting choosing them all in combination, in which case you'd have to play through the game millions of times. Alright, or at least a million. Over a million. Okay. Conquest, go.
All the world has fallen to Kairos. And now the Overlord's eye is on the Tears, our home. The last corner of the world free of Kairos' reign. Two armies, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, march south from the Northern Empire, the last realm to fall to Kairos a century prior.
I thought it got worked in quite a bit through the whole game. I mean, there were things, at the places I went to. Unfortunately, I fucked myself out of part of my Conquest reactivity because one of the places I went to was the Burning Library, and I didn't go to the Burning Library in game to see all the reactivity there. But like in Apex, because I only went to Bastard City, Apex, and Burning Library in the Conquest. There was tons of reactivity in Apex, which is the area where you start the game, and there was, well, the Bastard City, not really, a little bit. But most of my reactivity would have been in the fucking Scarlet Library, the Burning Library, the Vellum Citadel. And I didn't go there, so I kind of screwed myself out of a lot of my Conquest reactivity there. I didn't know I wasn't going to get to go until it was too late. Too late. If I would have gone to Azure and made decisions in Azure, or if I would have gone to Stoward and made decisions there, I would have gotten to see a lot more reactivity to my stuff. Anyway, more sections like this Conquest section. Well, I think it's supposed to just happen at the beginning because it's part of your character creation and world state creation for the beginning of the game.
In the early days of 428, Kairos' armies arrive at the Gates of Judgment, the mountainous border that we Tearsmen so long believed unassailable. Unable to agree on a unified plan of defense, the various leaders of the tiers sit and wait for each other to deal with the conquerors, until it's too late.
Yay, conquest. During the conquest, you will decide your character's actions during Kairos' invasion of the tiers, shaping the world through which you will adventure over the course of the game. Each choice you make affects your character and how major factions of the tiers respond to you. Your decisions matter. Choose wisely. It would be cool if, like, the next game was set into sections, you know, with time passing in between, and during the time passing in between, you got to do conquest type thing and made decisions. That'd be awesome. The Bastard City stood on the northern border between Kairos' empire and the tiers. Built upon a natural harbor at the crossroads between realms, the city was a nexus of commerce. To the tiers, it was the center of all wealth. To a northerner, it was little more than a backwater trading post. Its symbolic status as a gateway to the continent made it a natural first target in Kairos' military conquest. Circumstances were ideal for you to prove your worth as a soldier in Kairos' armies. Taking this city would send a message to the rest of the tiers. Kairos' will is insurmountable. Okay, so since I've already played through this game once on stream and recorded it, and I read all the orange text, I read all the item descriptions, I read all the everything in the encyclopedia, I'm not going to read all that this time. I'm going to read primary text, like what we have here, and in dialogue and so forth. But I'm not going to necessarily read all of the extra descriptive text that I already read in the previous playthrough. I mean, if you want to know who Kairos is, watch the 91-hour playthrough that I just did before this. And you'll know. Also, just watch this game and you'll know. Because they make it pretty clear. Alright, I have to choose one of these. Now, Saito, what's cool about this is which one of these I choose. Okay, so each one of these gives me a choice of two things to do in a situation. But which one of these two I choose determines which next two I get. So if I do this one, Infiltrate the Tiers, I get two completely different choices afterwards. Or than if I do Gates of Judgment. And it's the same at the other places you go to. So that's how come there's so many options. There's like 80-some different choices you can make during this thing, and you only get to make 9 of them. Well, yeah, if there's new ones, which will be the green ones, it'll be green ones, it'll be the new ones, and I'll read those. But all these, like, encyclopedia link ones that are always say the same thing, I'm not going to reread those, you know. Because we're treading old ground at this point. Okay, my choices. Infiltrate the Tiers. This is what I did on Seraphina. History would remember the Gates of Judgment as the first battle of the conquest, but the real combat unfolded with advanced units of both armies preparing for the coming war. The Disfavored and Scarlet Chorus each had a plan to infiltrate this capital city. Which army did you join? And Seraphina did this. She conscripted enemy fighters for the Scarlet Chorus. So that means, for this character, I'm going to do the other one. Gates of Judgment. The armies of Kairos took the battle to the Gates of Judgment, trumpeting the opening call of the conquest of the tiers. The two armies, the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus, brought their distinctive sense of order and chaos to the assault. You went to battle alongside the army whose approach best suited your strengths. Joined battle with the Disfavored. Standing shield to shield with Kairos' ironclad elite, you advanced on the mercenary army purchased by the nobles of the Bastard City. The Legion wanted to send a message to the tiers that superior breeding and disciplined training would win the day. Doubt it. You rushed with the chaotic mass of the Scarlet Chorus, flanked the Bastard City's army, and drove them to flee. Yeah, it's gonna be this one. It's gonna be this one. You caught the mercenary army unprepared for the mania and disorder of the Scarlet Chorus. Your forces overwhelmed the tiers' defenses in a few short hours, hacking and burning their way into the continent. Any mercenaries who survived the battle found themselves initiated into the Scarlet Chorus, tortured by ruthless interrogators, or made the sport of competition as the army marched ruthlessly forward. So now, I can't say which one of these Seraphina did, because Seraphina didn't even get to choose these two. She got a completely different one. So, let's look at both of these. To judge the enemy. I love these little art cards throughout this whole conquest. They're really cool. The soldiers of the tiers fell by the hundreds, and Kairos' armies could not agree on how to handle what few survivors they dragged back to camp. Befitting your role, the commanders turned to you to decide the fate of those who occupied prison pens. There were only enough prisoners to support the plan of a single army. To enslave the enemy, the disfavored needed slaves to haul their gear, dig latrines, and keep their pallets warm at night. You consign the survivors of battle to their subservient role among Graven Ash's noble troops. Or you could conscript the enemy. You gave prisoners the chance to serve in Kairos' army or die. The Scarlet Chorus was in need of extra troops to fill up the vanguard, and your former enemies would occupy those slots nicely. Or feeding the host. Against the most optimistic projections, the disfavored and Scarlet Chorus made short work of the local defenses. They did so well that the armies quickly outpaced their supply caravans. Troops were plentiful, but food was scarce. You only had time to execute one plan to secure provisions. Confiscate merchant caravans. You authorized disfavored troops to confiscate food and supplies from traveling merchant caravans. The tiers had already spent ignorant centuries glutting themselves outside of Kairos' law. Or pillage farmlands. You authorized the Scarlet Chorus to send their horde out to pillage from farms and villages. Spreading the infamy of Kairos' army prepared the tiers for the reality of the impending conquest. Which one fits my barbarian conqueror the most? Slaving the enemy seems legit. Scripting the enemy seems legit. Now you can't select the topple marker. I think we're gonna confiscate merchant caravans. That's probably gonna make some merchants not like me, though. Let's enslave the enemy. We're gonna enslave the enemy. Character already planning to seize power here. I think my character has a long-term aspiration of that at this point, but realizes he's got to fight and work his way up to it. So at this point in his career, he's basically just trying to earn glory and make a name for himself and you know, earn respect and command and stuff like that, and gain more power in his career. Let's enslave the enemy. To judge the enemy. Wounded and demoralized by prior defeat, the soldiers of the tiers put up minimal resistance to their new status in Kairos' military. The disfavored enjoyed the luxury of putting others to work, but didn't allow themselves to grow soft, turning away from menial duties and focusing instead on a rigorous training regimen that left them alert and eager for combat. You gave the tiers slaves their first assignment, digging a mass grave outside the gates of judgment, where a cloud of flies marked the passage of Kairos' army. Taking the Bastard City. The armies of Kairos amassed around the Bastard City, the first bastion of the tiers to fall. Both armies longed to storm the walled outpost, the Scarlet Chorus howling for plunder, and the disfavored forming an unbreakable shield wall. Your prowess on the field of battle had carried them this far, but there was one more step before total victory. Both of the armies had inspired schemes to take the Bastard City. Which did you support? So this choice, the third choice in each location, is always just one thing. So, burn the city is actually what Seraphina chose. Actually, no, that's not true. She did have different options than this. She had taking the Bastard City, but her three choices were actually different. Because she didn't have burn the city in the middle. She had incite a riot and gave her this same ability. Yes. Oh yeah, because she had incite a riot, or she had like assassinate people was her option over here. And I don't remember what her other option was. But yeah, so these are different options than she had. So I could assault on the main gates, join the disfavored vanguard in the direct assault upon the city gates. No fortification would stand before the unstoppable legion. You join the Scarlet Chorus in setting fire to the city and blocking the gates. The defenders would surrender or burn. This is why she started the game with the Sigil of Fire. Because she did this and got Searing Palm. Otherwise, she wouldn't have gotten the Sigil of Fire until way later in the game. So if you're going to play a mage character, you really want to take this in the beginning. Or I could sabotage the city's defenses. You led a mixed band of disfavored and Scarlet Chorus scouts over the city walls to sabotage its defenses. Now, there's three different abilities I can get here. This is just a basic spell. This is just the basic Sigil of Fire, but it gives you the Sigil of Fire right out the gate. I don't care about that for this character. I can get Concealing Shadows. Create a cloud of obscuring shadows and dust. For a short duration, enemies that use physical attacks against you have a significantly increased chance to miss. During this time, your attacks will also be less effective. So, you're super hard to hit. I mean, 200 dodge, 200 parry, and 100% graze deflection means you're basically invincible for 12 seconds versus physical attacks. But, you get a minus 100 accuracy yourself, which means you ain't going to be hitting a motherfucking person. So that's not so great for this character. Warrior's Respite. Stand your ground in the face of defeat. During this time, you will regenerate health rapidly, but your damage is significantly reduced. This is a heal over time, once per encounter. You take a damage debuff for 12 seconds, but at least you could still keep hitting people. So it's kind of a desperate heal thing. I think obviously that's the best one for this character. And also, this option is the one that fits the character the most, of course. Main assault on the gates. Charging right in. So we're taking that. With heroic courage and legendary determination, the disfavored battered the gates of the Bastard City to splinters. Those who fell under the consistent hail of our arrows or cascades of boiling pitch left the battlefield temporarily, only to appear hours later as Archon Graven Ash's protection healed their numerous wounds. In time, the gates gave way, and Kairos' forces spilled inside the city walls with resounding cheers of victory. Will I prioritize functionality over lore, or the reverse? What do you mean? Alright. At this point, we have to make our first choice of which area we go to. Seraphina went to Apex, which means I'll probably go to Lethian's Crossing on this character, just so I do some different shit. But, that's going to be in our next episode. It's time to end this one. If you're watching on the stream right now, on Twitch, well, first of all, hi, glad you're here. But, don't even trip, I'm not done playing, I'm going to continue. I just need to take a super fast 2-minute break. I'll be right back to continue. Now, if you're watching this video on YouTube, hi, glad you're watching. But, this episode is now over. So thank you for watching. This has been Josiah Plays Tyranny.